What the fuck is going on, Americans? Jericho Green here with you once again, and I am pissed early in the morning. Thank you, Gavin Newsom, the newly elected governor of California. And you know, if you let your guard down, he will fuck your wife. That's what he did to his best friend. And apparently, he seems to think the people of California are his best friend's wife as well, because he's trying to fuck us too. Yesterday, he signed an executive order that puts a moratorium on the death penalty. Now, this is not the first time. Back in the 60s, there was a moratorium on the death penalty. That's why Charles Manson and his sick-ass, crazy cohorts didn't get the death penalty. But he signed an executive order putting a moratorium on the death penalty. Why? Well, if you ask him, like he told CNN, he did it because he feels like it's the right thing to do. Now, if memory serves correct, even you dumb fucks who voted for Gavin Newsom to be governor did not vote him in there to do what he feels is the right thing to do. This is what Democrats are rooted in. Liberals, they're rooted in feelings. Like Loco Cortez, fucking Ocasio-Cortez, you motherfucker. Just like she said, it doesn't matter if you're factually correct. It only matters if it feels right. And Gavin feels like the death penalty is wrong. Now get ready for this, people. These are things you've heard plenty of times in the recent past. He says the justice system is unequal. There's inequity there. It usually targets blacks and Latinos unjustly. Look here, you fucking dummy. The reason that more blacks and Latinos are on death row is because more blacks and Latinos commit more heinous crimes. Is there any coincidence that blacks and Latinos have the highest number of single-parent homes, out-of-wedlock births, and they're committing most of the crimes? He said 6 out of 10 people on death row are black or Latino. But I'm sure if you look at their cases, those 6 out of 10 black or Latino motherfuckers need to be barbecued. But I don't understand, because some of the most prolific murderers in recent California history are white or Asian. Scott Peterson, he killed his wife and their unborn child. Charles, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, or some shit. His last name is spelled NG. The Asian guy killed 6 men, 4 women, and 2 infants. Richard Allen Davis, he murdered Polly Klaas. She was a 12-year-old girl. That happened in, 93? I remember that. Some guy named something Casey, he murdered a woman, her daughter, and her friend up in the mountains. There's people, a guy who, in Sacramento, that black dude who, ran some kind of cult or some shit, killed 9 of his fucking children. And you're gonna sit here and tell me these people don't need to die? He said, well, California has the most people on death row in the Western Hemisphere. 737 people. But what he was mainly harping on was the innocent people who are caught up in this. And recently there was a guy who spent 25 years in prison. He was convicted in 1973 falsely. And he was released. 1973, you fucking turd. That's before science really took off in the forensic science department. Now we have forensics. Now we have technology. And there's a really good chance that shit's not going to happen. Anybody being falsely put on death row now? No. But California, I mean, You can call it the death penalty, but here, that just means you're going to sit on death row for 25, 35, 40 years, and you might be executed. I remember when I was young hearing about people getting the death penalty, but they've been on there for 25 years. What's the point of the death penalty? Yeah, people get appeals, but let's exhaust those appeals and speed it up. And in 2016, Californians voted to speed up the death penalty process. They voted to put a needle in these fuckers' arms sooner. So judging by that, us Californians, we want the death penalty. We want it to work faster. Why don't you ask some of the family members, some of the survivors, some of the spouses and the girlfriends and the children and the parents and the neighbors of these people who are viciously murdered by these fucking monsters. And instead of harping on how many innocent people are swept up, which is not much, why don't we talk about the guilty fuckers who deserve it? Why don't we talk about the overwhelming majority of these sick bastards who did do it and who deserve to die? I personally think the death by lethal injection, that's some bullshit. So what, you get to murder a family of 6 with a screwdriver, but we're gonna put you to sleep? You get to go night-night and never wake up? You get to sit there and go, oh, I'm going to sleep. No, fuck that. Where's the terror in your eyes? Where's the fear in your heart that you're about to be murdered? Why don't you get to know what it feels like to have a sharp object dug into your chest, or have your skull smashed in, or be raped and choked to death? Why don't you get to feel that? Why don't the murderers get to feel that pain and that fear and that anguish? Why don't they get to have the thought of, I'm about to die, run through their mind? Instead of, here, you comfy, here's it. Now this shot's gonna put you night-night, and the next one's gonna kill you, but you won't feel it, you'll be asleep. Man, fuck that. If we got you on security footage killing somebody, you get a fast track to the electric chair. You know those fast passes they have in the airport? You get to walk past everybody else, taking off their flip-flops and their belts. That's what we need to do to these sick pieces of shit. You need an express lane. But that's why I fucking hate California politics and California politicians. Because you're in there doing shit with your heart and not your mind. You're in there you're in office carrying out your agenda and not mine. We voted to speed it up, and you just signed an executive order to stop it altogether? Who the fuck are you? Oh, it's a race, and it's a race, and it's a racist, and it's unjust. Then stop committing crimes, you motherfucker. You know why I'm not on death row? Because I never killed anybody for some bullshit. You best believe if I did, it's going to be justified. And it's not going to be a 12-year-old fucking girl, or a family of fucking 6, or my children. How are you even able to do that? And when that slick-haired piece of shit ran for office, he even said, I know that we have conflicting feelings on this topic, but I'm going to honor the voters' wishes and leave the death penalty alone. That's what he said. 3 months in, nope, fuck that, I'm comfy. Time to start doing what Gavin wants to do. That doesn't make any fucking sense. You know what Gavin Newsom looks like? You ever seen that movie Constantine? When the devil comes at the end and he's wearing a suit and his hair's all slicked back and he looks evil? That's what Gavin Newsom looks like. It looks like he works for the devil. And judging by his actions, I think he does. He was, in this article, he's totally taken the side of the criminal. All he talked about is how we could potentially, get innocent people caught up in this net that we're casting. What if innocent? What if the innocent? Man, fuck that. There's technology and science in place to pretty much guarantee that won't happen. But this minute number of people you're talking about who are falsely accused, that shit happened years ago, and those people should be freed. If you're wrongly convicted and you got to spend time in prison unjustly, that is awful, and you should be compensated as much as you possibly can. And I feel very bad for people that happens to. That's fucking wrong. Whether it be false witness statements, evidence, anything like that. That's fucked up. But that's this many people. I'm talking about the overwhelming majority of these sick bastards who are on death row. Take them outside in the rain, have them stand in a big puddle, and throw a toaster in that damn thing. Let's execute all 737 together. How many people fit on an airplane? Let's take the seats out, jam-pack that motherfucker, and run it off a cliff. Let's get a bunch of old school buses that don't work anymore, rip the seats out, fill it with death row inmates, and push those shits into the Grand Canyon. What is the problem? Why are you on death row for 20 plus years? What's the point? Why not just give them 25 to life? And he said, what, since 87, I think it was? He said that it's cost California taxpayers $5 billion. We could have put that money towards this and towards that, and towards victims and towards the justice system and towards, man, $5 billion ain't shit. Why are we spending any money on prisoners? Why are they not self-sufficient? Why do prisoners not grow their own food, make their own clothes, and build their own prisons? Why do we pay for them anyway? Maybe if they're working all day, tilling the soil and constructing buildings, they'll be too tired at the end of the day to stab each other. Why do we spend anything on inmates? Take care of your fucking self. But that is just absolute garbage that you're going to take power away from us and do what the fuck you want to do. Oh, I don't like that. What else are you going to change that you don't like? What other things are you going to take away and strip from us? What other power you want to take from us? Maybe not taking things away. What are you going to add? Oh, I think this group needs some more help. I think this group needs some more help. What group is that going to be? Say it with me. Starts with an I, ends with an S. Illegals. That's right. Because like the federal government, like those turds, illegals are their voting bloc, especially in California, where we have more than anybody else. We have more homeless here and more illegals here than every other state combined. And there's so many other things for you to worry about, Gavin. California is at the bottom of the fucking barrel when it comes to education. Let's see, there's 50 states, or if you ask Barack Obama, there's 57, whatever the fuck that means. There's 50 states, and we're number 49. But you're worried about some shit that we've already expressed. We don't want change. We want to quicken it. The homeless, the illegals, the education, our infrastructure. There's tons of other things that you could be focusing on instead of this bullshit. Why are you fucking with this? We've already spoken. What did, what's his name? Yul Brynner. What Yul Brynner say in the 10 Commandments? So shall it be written, so let it be done. We've already spoken, Gavin. Don't touch that. You ever go to lift the lid on your mom's shit in the kitchen, she pops you on your hand? Don't touch that shit. Don't touch it, Gavin. We're done with that. We've spoken. Back the fuck up. Focus on one of these million other things that would benefit us in a positive way, instead of taking it easy on fucking murderers and rapists and monsters. For all I care, you can throw a bunch of gasoline and set death row on fire and burn them all. You're gonna put a moratorium on the death. Man, put a moratorium on yourself. Put a moratorium on your fucking mouth. Put a moratorium on your wife's mouth, who wants to call herself, well, I think being first lady is too sexist. It's not inclusive enough, so I'm the first partner. Bitch, shut up. You're just as stupid as your fucking satanic looking husband. You punk bitch. Moratorium on the death penalty. Man, please. That's something that's not broke, so don't try to fix it, dummy. Why don't you fix every damn thing else wrong in California? Man, got me all fired up on my way to the fucking rat race. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow your boy on the Twitters @green_Jericho. Utilize the PayPal link in the description box. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.